We're back. It is, Parker, stop. It is our last day of shooting.
They want to hear Blackbird.
And I think we should probably just, go over what we did over the last 4 days of shooting. So I think the last time there was a podcast was last Friday, and Tyler Chelsea did it, and then we did one late at night. Anyway, we can talk about the set that we had to build and how we used it, and then talk about kind of the last day of using that set, So, Parker.
Yes.
What was the construction process like turning Paige's apartment into the inside of a trailer?
Well, Paige lives upstairs above her. Am I allowed to say where you live? Should I not say that? Is that giving out too much information?
My address out.
Paige lives at 58601 West. Paige lives in a loft above her parents' garage, and it's pretty nice and spacious. So it definitely doesn't fit what the inside of the trailer that we shot the exteriors for. So, I mean, really, you guys were a big part of I just, jumped in and helped, but you guys planned, well, I guess Case was the main, carpenter.
Yeah.
Case is awesome, by the way. He was our prop master, construction dude, effects dude, doorway building dude, costume dude. Yeah, really the main thing, we just had to move all of Paige's nice stuff to the side of the room that we didn't see. And you call it Seinfelding, where we don't see half of the room because it would be too big for a standard, what do you call it, a double wide.
Well, the funny thing about Seinfeld and most shows that are like that, you never see the TV wall. There's always the couch that's facing towards the audience.
Yeah.
Then you might see the TV in the front, but you never see that wall.
No.
And so because Paige's apartment is so large, there's no way that we could pretend that it was the inside of a trailer. So we built it we made our set on the one side, including Case building a doorway completely. And then we used one room, and basically when we're shooting, we just got to make sure you don't see anything else. We don't accidentally see some other part of the apartment. So it was a lot of fun. Paige, could you tell us about having everybody come in here and shoot?
She loved having people inside of her.
It was a true joy. I loved it. Loved every minute of it. Loved people coming in.
The second time you started with an accent when I handed you the mic.
I can't help being me, Joe. It's who I am. Just gonna, you know what? This is why you pay a family to get the hell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you want to explain the whole process of us looking for an interior of a trailer over the last couple months?
Yeah, it's been torturous. We tried to use... Okay, so my mother's side of the family has... my grandmother had a double wide trailer, and cousins are living there right now, but I do not enjoy them. And I didn't want to deal with the hassle of trying to get them out of the house and that nonsense. And I guess, well, you could have used your friend Jake's place. We could have used the interior. But why is it that you didn't insist on it, and yet you gave me so much shit for not getting the trailer at my family's?
Because Jake is a friend and not a family member, and family members you can use more than friends.
You can use family.
These people are not genetically related to me. Okay?
You've mentioned that every time we talk about them.
Exactly. God, I hope they never listen to this.
Well, we didn't use their trailer, so I'm assuming not.
Yeah. I don't know. didn't. It's you think that it's easier to use a family members than a friend's. It's not. It's just, I think it's equally hard because it's someone you know on a personal level. And it's like, hey, can we come in and invade your space and be here forever, mess things up, and blah, 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 blah. So then I'm like, yeah, come and invade my space. Come into my apartment. Come move all my shit around. That was great. Loved it. But honestly, there wasn't a better option. There really wasn't. And the amount of time we spent for the interiors, ooh, that's sweet, tender love.
What's happening? We can do whatever.
Parker and Joe were lacing fingers. But the amount of time that we were in here, we needed to have full control. You can't have someone just like, oh, I'll just hang out in the back room while you guys are doing your thing. And that's what would have happened, even if I told them to get out for a week. No, they would have just stayed in the back room, like your friend. He stayed in the back room, and his family stayed in the back room. But they were coming and going, and we had to kind of pause and wait for them to leave and go inside. And it wasn't a huge hassle, but if we were trying to do interiors, it would have been a huge hassle.
Right. And then there was also a trailer. You tried to ask a guy to, give him a couple $100 and try to get that place. How did that work out?
Well, he was interested, but he was also selling it at the same time. So he'd rather sell it than rent it out.
Rent it out for 5 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally logical. But, I don't know, it gave me some perspective in like, the places like that you can find them. You just got to be like looking every single day for that, because that had just popped up. Like when we had looked months prior, nothing like that was really showing up. And then that one just popped up, and it's, like I definitely, a lot of props to location scouts. Like if my only thing was location, like scouting, I think that would be a lot easier than doing everything else on top of it. But, so they built that wall and that little hallway. So I have a little hallway sublet thing that connects to the rest of the house. And they built the door. And it actually looked okay. It looked okay. It looked real. We painted it the same colors as the rest of the wall. And I think it would be pretty believable. We got blood everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere. And that was stressful for me. It's on the carpet still. But it's not as bad as what I've done to it myself. Like I was mixing some blood, and I created an IV bag with like Carol syrup blood in it, and it wasn't filling like the way that I thought it would, because you can refill an IV bag just with negative pressure of like gravity, but it wasn't filling up, and I was like, I guess it's not going to do it because it's too thick. So I left it on a shelf. And then I woke up in the morning, and it had like tipped over because it did work, and it was like blood on the ground, and I'm like, oh no. So it's stained pink. I don't know if it's ever going to completely come out. Yeah.
So we finished up the shooting of all the indoor stuff then, and then we had basically 2 days left on the schedule. No, we just had 1 day left on the original schedule as far as principal photography was concerned. And then we went out and we did some exterior stuff with 3 of our actors, which was Eric, Chelsea, and Tyler, who play Moses, Renee, and Adam, respectively. And it was just kind of a day out on the town, getting like random stuff. It only took like 5 hours, maybe, Parker?
What day was this?
This was Tuesday.
Is that the Monday?
I can't remember. Everything's a blur.
Is that we were downtown?
Yeah, we were downtown.
Yeah, that probably took us around 5 hours. That was just Chelsea and Eric.
Oh, that wasn't Tyler?
Tyler wasn't there that day.
Oh, I thought we had Tyler and wrapped him really early. But, oh, no, we didn't.
No, that was a completely different day.
Anyway, I got a couple things. First off, Melanie, who plays Tamara, she definitely listens to Metallica. Okay, and guys, this is super exciting. To find another Metallica fan. Not that it's hard to find, but it's special. It's special to have that connection with someone. And what I remember, she was getting into character listening to music or something. Maybe she was just listening to music very loud. She was getting into character. And I was hearing very, very distinct drum pattern in some tinny headphones from way across the room. And I knew immediately it was Eye of the Beholder from Metallica's 1988 or 89, can't remember, album, And Justice for All.
Joe looked like a kid on Christmas morning.
And I went, everybody stop. And I went over to her and I was like, is that Eye of the Beholder? And she's like, what? Yeah, I'm just listening to music. And I'm like, is that Eye of the Beholder? And then she goes, yes. And I'm like, I knew it. I knew it was Eye of the Beholder. And then yesterday, Metallica announced that they were doing a remaster of that album, making like a huge box set thing with it. And I got excited and got on Facebook, posted about it, and she liked my post. So I happen to know Melanie is a fan of Metallica, or maybe just that album, but that is my favorite album. And if anybody loves me enough to get me that box set, I'll do anything they want.
Whoa.
I'll do anything. Anyway, just kind of a fun day out on the town. Parker, Mr. Cinematographer, what filming techniques did we use out on the town with the Renee and Moses characters?
Is this the day that I was a spy? Is this the day we're talking about?
Yeah. This is the day you were a spy.
Oh, yes. This is my breakthrough. All I've wanted to do my whole life is be an actor. I've been pretending to be a cinematographer so I can dip my toes into being an actor. And now is my breakthrough moment. You'll see me about 3/4 of... no, it's like halfway. 3/4?
About 3/4.
3/4 of the way through. You're going to see a special cameo from your boy Parker Peterson.
You didn't even say anything, Parker. All you did was move your glasses.
Oh, I said it with my face. Like Tom Hardy with a mask.
What you have to do?
I was a spy before I was a man. By then it was nothing. Techniques that day, though, we were pretty... The word I would say is like guerrilla filmmaking. We were just like stealing shots outside the front of... Well, not stealing, but like we couldn't get permission. Kind of stealing. We didn't go into this bookstore, so we just had the actors go into the bookstore while I snooped on them, and Joe took over the cinematography shots that day. So if there's a couple shots in the movie that don't look as good as the rest, you all have heard it here first. Those were...
There's one shot. There's one shot. You did the exposure of it, and I framed it and moved the camera.
I was joking. They look good. I double-checked it.
Oh, good. Could you tell us about getting locations that day?
I don't know why you have to say it like that.
Fiasco.
Hey, you did good.
I mean, it's. I don't know if it was really a fiasco. Who cares?
Just talk about the locations that day, Paige.
Okay, so we couldn't get the bookstore.
Yeah.
Granted, it was a little too short notice. So we just did a lot of like them walking down on the street, and then we had some stuff where they're at the park, which actually kind of played well because there was a playground in the background.
Maybe not talk about.
Why?
What?
It's not a spoiler.
It's thematically connected. So it was cool to have.
Yeah, I didn't say anything else.
You didn't really explain that. You just said playground and then stared at me for a second.
Oh, I forget I need to like give you guys more information because you're listening or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. This happened and that happened. I don't know what you want from me. You're gonna have to get specific.
Okay. in the morning you were trying to get locations for the bookstore, remember? And then you were told to like call their manager or something, and then we went there. Just that experience.
Oh. Yeah, it's not that interesting. So then I called earlier in the day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that doesn't seem like it'd be a problem. Just call back and talk to my manager." And I was like, oh, "Okay." So then we go in, and my family like, "Hey, well, I'm already here. Might as well just go talk to them physically in person." We go in, and then I'm told that, and I told them over the phone that it was for today, but then they're like, "Oh, that's too short notice. You'd have to email us first," which was kind of annoying.
Weird.
Not about the short notice, but more of like, why didn't you just tell me on the phone earlier today?
Right.
You know, and that was kind of annoying. I don't know. Maybe they get that a lot because it's a really it's a funky playground. Not playground. It's a funky. It's a funky bookstore. Like, it's really cute and fun. Like, before the bookstore, before they like updated it and they moved across the street, it was like sketch, like old, like an old bookstore where the books are like piled in precarious like alleyways, and like you're like, oh, these sci-fi books are gonna come toppling down on top of me.
And some of the pages are stuck together, and you don't know with what sort of substance.
Yeah, and they're like kind of like that.
Right, Joe? Right?
I don't even know if they can hear you, Parker.
Can't really. He's a distant echo.
He's.
They don't need to hear that. No one needs to hear that.
So I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's why they're all they were a little like meh, and I was like, whatever. So we just did the shots outside, which I think were fine. It was fine, whatever.
We also had a cameo that day, finally. Couldn't be there to be a cop, but we needed a salesman.
Schweiss.
And so Caleb Schweiss came. Tell us about working with Caleb Schweiss, both on this and Emmanuel song.
Caleb Schweiss, maybe the most underrated actor of the past 2 years. The gravitas that he carries and just the emotion that he conveys in his simple gestures really convey a substantial girth to the audience.
Wow.
Some interesting choice of words.
Girth or audience?
So yeah, Caleb came.
Schweiss is amazing. I was trying, like, the shots that we did of him, the camera might be a little shaky because I was trying really hard not to burst out laughing. So I was, like, really trying not to shake the camera. And it didn't help that Eric, the lead actor, who I was shooting over his shoulder, was also... I could see that he was laughing, but the camera couldn't, so it was fine. But I could see that Eric was just going, like... And so that didn't help anything.
It's a good visual thing for the...
Yeah, Eric was going like this. I'm sure you all can all imagine that. But yeah. No, Schweiss is awesome. I hope he has a cameo in all of your movies.
We'll see. So yeah, Schweiss was there, and then we wrapped Chelsea, and then I think we wrapped Moses for the day anyway. After that, so Chelsea was great. She did wonderful, and excited to see how the edit kind of goes with her in it. She's our second lead, so that's kind of a big deal. But we still had one more day with Moses. We wouldn't have had one more day with Moses, and that day was today. But what happened, Paige?
We didn't finish the fight scene. Why do you have to act like it's like my fault?
Yeah, Joe.
Did
I
say something?
No, you didn't say anything. It's like the way you look at me and then you ask the question, then you're like, pause. We wouldn't have had to reshoot. Why is that, Paige? Like, it's my fault.
Why is that, Paige?
It's not my fault. We didn't have time to finish it because of people's schedules. So we had to do a pickup, which is basically how many hours were we there? 5 hours? 4?
Yeah.
Should I? It wasn't too bad. So we just picked up and we just finished it out. You know? Happens. Okay?
Tell us about the day. What happened today?
Finished up the fight scene, did some eye makeup, got some blood on the people. Eric choked out Jason. and they both choked each other out. You know, it was there's that, and
There was some stabbing.
there's some stabbing. There was beautiful drive in with like the sunrise.
You see the morning shots I got? I didn't show them to you, did I?
Gorgeous.
Oh, I don't think you saw them. You didn't see them.
Tell us about what? What'd you just say?
I made everyone wait for me because there's no movie without my camera. So I got morning shots of the sunrise while these guys did makeup on Eric, and it was
Beautiful.
beautiful.
We thought you were just late.
Yeah, Eric thought I was totally bluffing. I was like, come over here and look, Eric.
Yeah, we thought you were just like late. And you're like, oh, there's some great shots that I'm getting, and then you'd show up and you're like, it didn't work out.
Hell no.
And I was like, no, Parker wouldn't do that. I saw how beautiful that was. I would have I wish I had my camera. That's so I was like, oh, I wish I had my camera in my phone. Joe's cringing now that I'm doing my New Zealand accents. I wish that I could just do them all day. I think that I'm actually pretty good at them for being self-taught.
You should just do it permanently.
Stop.
All the time.
Then afterwards, we wrapped Eric. Well, we wrapped Jason first. Had to do like a scene and a half with Eric. We did that, just Eric by himself. And then we all gave Eric a big hug and thanked him for being our lead actor because he was amazing. And except when Evermore or whatever the hell got involved, it was great. It was great to work with him.
Damn you, Evermore.
It was a lot of fun. Eric is a very fun presence to have on set.
He is.
He's very talented as an actor. He kind of nailed Moses down. I really barely had to do multiple takes with him. He just kind of got it and went going. And he was fantastic since day one. He is a very boisterous fellow. Sometimes he'd get on my nerves because of that, and we'd be trying to like move forward, and he'd be distracting everybody.
So fun.
But it's better to have someone be like fun, and
He was always entertaining.
yeah.
Distracting is a good thing. If you're distracting but you're a horrible person, then it is not a good thing, and you hate them with your soul. But I mean, sometimes I had to get everyone on track, and I had to be the ruiner of fun. You know, hey, quit having fun, quit enjoying yourselves.
Quiet on set.
But anyway, fantastic experience working with him. Glad we got him. So, and I'm glad he was so willing for so little pay to play with us for 14 days or whatever. So thank you, Eric, and thank you to all the rest of our cast as well that we got to wrap this week. They were all fantastic. I think otherwise we just we just came back to the Valley and we started doing insert shots that we missed on the days because some of our days went too long. And so we had a list, we had a page and a half of stuff yesterday, and we now have 2 shots to get left in the movie. One of which is going to be a time lapse at my sister's. As soon as my alarm goes off, we got to drive to Payson, and then in order to like hit the sun at a certain time. And then another shot is going to be a shot of just an object in the film that Parker has to go get. So we're kind of done. We're going to have another podcast talking about the wrapping up. But those were the last few days. Just kind of getting the rest of the stuff for the movie. And after we get that kind of final shot, we'll have a wrap-up podcast. So thank you guys for listening. We'll have one more of these, and hopefully some more bonus content for you Indiegogo people. We might have some more of these after all the post-production is done. Like, we should probably have one, like, after we're done editing, and then after we do a sound mix. Yeah, well, we can do it over Skype. Believe me. I still have... You know what I have that's really cool that some people someday will hear? I asked their permission when I did this. the writing group that we had, Paige.
Yeah.
My first draft of the screenplay, and I don't think it was completed at that point. So I have you and Emily talking about my first draft.
Yeah.
So that's like a little bonus thing. Yeah, we'll have that.
Is it just audio?
And then I have the read through. I have audio from the read through. There's tons of good stuff coming your way, guys. There's tons of good stuff coming your way, just very slowly. This movie's going to take us a little while to do all in the post. I hope you enjoy all the coffee in the cup with the iced coffee and the ice getting swished around, and also Parker trying to either play Pink Floyd or Blackbird.
Right.
I'm not a professional.
But anyways, guys, thank you again.
Thank you.
We'll be back. We'll be back in a bit.
Love you.